Okay, so tax season, that time of year, right? When you're either meticulously gathering documents or maybe wondering, is there a better way?
Hmm.
And, increasingly the question pops up, maybe from some flashy tech ad, can artificial intelligence actually handle it all?
Yeah, exactly.
Our sources today, including one asking that exact question, can AI replace accountants? A bot did my taxes.
Right.
They really dive headfirst into this.
Exactly. And, well, that's what we're doing in this deep dive, a focused exploration of AI's current role in accounting. We've looked at material that gives us a pretty solid understanding of the capabilities right now and where it might be heading.
Right.
For you, we really aim to distill the most critical insights. It's a rapidly changing landscape, after all.
Yeah, think of this as getting you up to speed on AI and accounting, without needing hours of research yourself.
Hmm.
Our mission here is basically to pinpoint what AI is actually doing in accounting, say, right now in 2025, and also understand where the limits still are and, well, get a clearer picture of what the next few years might hold.
For the profession, yeah, but also just for anyone managing their own finances.
Absolutely.
So let's get straight to it then. As of this year, AI isn't just theory anymore. It's actively being used in, core accounting functions, especially those repetitive tasks, dealing with large data sets.
And listeners are probably already interacting with it, right? Through platforms like QuickBooks Zero, maybe TurboTax, H&R Block,
Yeah,
for their online financial stuff.
that's very likely. And behind those user-friendly interfaces, there's some pretty interesting tech powering it all.
Right. You're talking machine learning where these systems learn and get better just by processing financial data.
Exactly. That, alongside optical character recognition, OCR, that's what reads text from images like receipts.
Okay.
Then there's natural language processing, NLP, which helps computers understand, well, human language, like in chatbots,
Yeah.
and predictive analytics, using past data to forecast future trends.
Gotcha. So these technologies are really driving the automation we're seeing more and more of.
They're fundamental to it.
Yeah.
Take bookkeeping and data entry, for example. That's an area that's really undergoing a significant shift because of AI.
Oh, definitely. I mean, remember the sheer hassle of just managing paper receipts? Now, AI tools use that OCR you mentioned to scan them, and invoices, bank statements too.
And they pull out the crucial details with, honestly, pretty impressive accuracy now.
And the smart categorization part sounds clever, where the AI figures out what the expense actually is automatically.
Yes, it analyzes the transaction data, vendor name, amount, sometimes location, determine the nature of the expense. Plus, it's more than just scanning. AI can connect directly to your bank and credit card feeds.
Ah,
So using rules, algorithms, it automatically reconciles transactions, matches your spending against the bank records, and it flags things too, right? Discrepancies that might need a human look.
it really is like having a constantly vigilant digital assistant keeping the books tidy. And these systems learn, don't they? The source mentions smart rules and learning.
Precise.
So if I always categorize my, say, Uber rides as client travel, the AI eventually just does it for me without me having to click OK every time.
That's the idea. Over time, it adapts to your specific patterns.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to a really substantial reduction in the manual work involved.
How substantial are we talking?
Well, the source pointed to a 2024 Deloitte study suggesting AI bookkeeping can cut down manual input for small businesses by, get this, up to 80%.
80%.
Wow.
Wow, that's a game changer.
It is.
Imagine like a small marketing agency, maybe 10 employees, spending, 20, 30 hours every month just wrestling with receipts and logging expenses.
Right.
AI in 2025 could just free up all that time, let them focus on actually marketing things.
That's the potential, absolutely. Now, let's shift gears a bit. Tax preparation, another area where AI is making noticeable inroads.
Yeah, the trend seems clear. AI software handling more and more of the routine tax stuff.
Definitely. And it's moving beyond just, filling in the boxes on a form. We're seeing these conversational AI assistants pop up.
Like the ones mentioned, H&R Block's MyBlock AI, TurboTax Live AI.
Exactly. They use chat interfaces, machine learning.
Yeah.
They can answer user questions, drawing on huge databases of tax codes and information. It's kind of like having a tax expert on call, almost.
Interesting. And what about finding deductions?
That's another interesting application. Deduction optimization. The AI can look at your income, your spending, charitable giving, and automatically flag potential deductions or credits you might qualify for.
So say if you have kids and own a home, it would proactively look for those related tax breaks.
That's the capability, yes. It connects the dots in your financial data.
That could be a massive help for a lot of people. And the real-time error checks, that sounds incredibly useful, especially maybe for freelancers.
Absolutely. The source highlights that, flagging inconsistencies or errors as you go. It's a big help when you're dealing with things like estimating self-employment taxes, which can be tricky.
No kidding. And for those freelancers, or maybe small business owners, getting paid from all over the place, like Upwork, Patreon, YouTube.
Yeah, managing income from multiple platforms like Stripe, PayPal, Shopify.
Hmm.
That used to mean sorting through thousands of records manually sometimes.
Right.
Now AI tools are integrating directly, pulling that income data automatically. Makes things much, much simpler than uploading spreadsheets.
Okay, so AI is clearly getting really good at the data-heavy routine tasks, bookkeeping, basic tax prep. But the source also mentioned it's starting to do more analysis, like
Yeah.
real-time insights.
Exactly. It's moving beyond just reporting what happened. We're seeing applications in cash flow forecasting, for instance.
How does that work?
Well, AI uses your past financial data, but it can also pull in external factors, economic indicators, seasonality, to predict future cash flow. Super useful for planning, especially if your business income fluctuates a lot.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. And fraud prevention, anomaly detection.
Makes sense, right? AI is great at spotting patterns, so it's also good at spotting deviations from those patterns. Unusual payments, duplicate entries, sudden spikes or drops that might signal an error or potentially fraud.
And dynamic budgeting, what's that about?
Think tools like File or Planful, the source mentions. They offer budgeting that isn't static. It adjusts forecasts automatically as new real-time data comes in. Makes financial management much more responsive.
That sounds powerful. And the benchmarking piece, too, comparing your business to others.
Yeah, AI allows businesses to compare their performance metrics costs, revenue streams, against anonymized data from industry peers.
So like the example given, a restaurant chain using Zero plus an AI add-on.
Right. They can get weekly dashboards comparing their labor costs, food costs, utilities against similar-sized restaurants. See where they're doing well or where they might be, lagging behind. Helps manage proactively.
Okay, so AI is doing a lot, but, and this is a big but, the source is also clear. In 2025, it still has limitations. It's not quite ready to completely take over from human accountants.
That's a really key distinction to make. A major limitation is, well, contextual judgment, meaning AI, for all its power, can struggle with unique financial situations, things that are out of the ordinary or interpreting complex regulations that weren't specifically programmed in. It lacks real-world nuance sometimes.
That makes sense. Tax laws, for example, can be so complex, full of gray areas, exceptions, stuff that needs a human to interpret, maybe even argue with the tax authority. AI follows rules, but nuance is harder.
Exactly. And think about big strategic decisions. Should a company lease or buy that major piece of equipment? How should someone plan for retirement with multiple complex goals? Those decisions need more than just crunching numbers.
They need understanding of the business goals, right? Or individual life plans, context.
Precisely. Qualitative factors that AI isn't really equipped to evaluate properly. And then there's the whole accountability piece.
Ah, right. Professional responsibility.
Human accountants have a fiduciary duty. They operate under ethical codes. They're legally accountable for the advice they give, especially in really complex situations. AI, well, it can't replicate that accountability. Not fully.
So the example given, a startup founder, juggling investors, crypto income, R&D tax credits.
Yeah, that person needs the holistic, nuanced advice a human CPA provides. Someone who understands the whole picture, the legal implications, the strategic trade-offs.
Okay, so powerful tool, AI, but human expertise is still absolutely vital. Now,
Right.
looking ahead, the source ventures some predictions for, say, 2026 to 2030, the rise of the AI co-accountant.
Right. This is where the integration gets even deeper, even more seamless. The prediction is AI will become even more embedded in workflows. We're talking smarter algorithms, real-time data flowing between everything, better natural language understanding.
And the potential impact on manual work.
The prediction is pretty dramatic.
Yep.
AI potentially handling entire back-office operations, reducing manual accounting work by maybe up to 70%. That's a significant jump from today.
Wow. And tax advice could become more proactive.
We might see smarter tax bots, yeah? Integrating with your bank, your credit cards, your Shopify store, suggesting tax-saving moves all year round, not just when you file.
But even with AI getting smarter about new laws and compliance,
Human oversight remains crucial, especially, as we said, for interpreting those ambiguous areas, the gray zones in regulations. AI can flag it, but a human needs to make the call.
so the accountant's role isn't vanishing, it's shifting. More towards what strategy?
Towards reviewing, validating AI outputs, enhancing the analysis with expert judgment, and really empowering businesses and individuals with that higher-level strategic financial guidance. Interpreting the data, not just generating it.
Okay, so let's try and sum this up. It really sounds like AI is rapidly changing the accounting field, automating a lot of the grunt work, the repetitive data tasks.
Definitely.
But it's not a wholesale replacement for human accountants, not yet anyway. Especially where you need critical thinking, strategic advice, ethical judgment. It's more like AI as a powerful partner, augmenting what humans do.
That seems to be the consensus, yes. An increasingly powerful tool or co-accountant.
Right.
And that leads us to maybe a final thought for you, the listener,
Hmm.
to mull over. If AI handles more and more of the number crunching, the routine compliance, what new skills become really valuable? For financial professionals, sure, but maybe even for individuals managing their own money.
Good question.
It's not necessarily about AI taking over completely, but more about how it reshapes things. It might actually open up new avenues for deeper financial understanding, for more strategic thinking about money, because the basics are handled. What do you think?